Okay, today I'm going to start my breather kit. Um, this is the stock 114 air cleaner, or I guess it's the Screaming Eagle ventilator air kit if you were to buy it. So as you can see, there's a hole in the plate and then there's a threaded stud in my K&N air filter. On the stock air filter, there's nothing there. So what I'm going to try to do is, one, I'm going to try to either remove this stud, because I'm hoping it's just like glued on with some like epoxy, and then I can hit it with a heat gun and maybe twist it off with my vise. Or I'm going to take the stock air filter and just drill a teeny little hole, and then run my breather hose on the outside. And so what I'm going to do is, first I bought a kit from DK Customs, and that came with this hose, zip ties, this air filter, and it came with some plastic pieces and stuff like that, hose clamps, because originally I thought I was going to drill out the back side of my back plate and run this all the way down somewhere, and then I realized there's really not that much space on the Milwaukee 8. It's a really big motor and it's tucked in there really nice and tight. So what I decided to do is I went and I'm going to either use, I'm not sure if I'm going to use a T-section female or a T-section male. And so my plan is to run hoses from the breather to here. Yeah, so I'll run my hoses here, and then I'm going to run this piece externally like so, and then have the air filter pretty much right there on that barb. I was really hoping to find a hose barb threaded that would thread into this and then just kind of saw off the back stud on there, but I couldn't find a 5/16 barb. I looked all over the place. I went online, I ordered a bunch of stuff, and even these that I ordered were supposed to be 1/8. So this is a 1/8 thread, 1/8 thread to, this is the 3/4 or 3/8 hose to fit in the bigger hose diameter. And so what I did is I ordered these T's. I ordered a 1/8, and technically this should have been a 1/4, which should have fit this, I thought, but these are too small. So I had to go out and I bought an even smaller diameter hose. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running a section of hose onto that T, and then I'm going to be running a short section of this hose inside of this, just because I couldn't find a T to make it any cleaner. And I actually think that's going to work a little bit better, because it's going to give me more flexibility in the creases on my hose and less possibility of it falling off on the inside of the air cleaner, which I don't think is going to happen. So I'm going to switch gears and kind of open everything up and see what I can do. Okay, so as I expected, I had a feeling that drilling this stud out of the K&N filter or getting it out was going to be a problem with just like a drill and some other stuff. So I may reach out to my buddy who has like pretty much a machine shop, and I'm sure I'll be able to get this figured out on the K&N side. So what it is, I took the stock one and I drilled a hole, and so what I wound up using is the female to male, and I just used 2 little rubber grommets, drilled a little hole, and so now this will sit there and this filter will go on top of there, and I'm actually pretty happy with that, to be honest. I mean, that's pretty nice. It should fit pretty good on there. Really the only thing I want is I kind of want to use the K&N air filter, but I think this is going to be a pretty good thing. And I'm going to kind of refine it with the K&N. I'm going to bring this to my buddy and say, hey, let's get this out. And so the thing was, so because I used the male to female, what I'm thinking is, which is the reason why I bought a male to female and a female to male T's and barb, is because this sits pretty flush with this cap. And so my thought process was, the male end is going to stick out and it'll be enough to thread on. Whereas On this is shallow. It doesn't have that little bump. So it kind of works a little bit nicer in the sense that I can kind of slide it off and on pretty easy. Whereas if I did it with this, I'd be screwing off and on that barb. So that's kind of the deal. Now I'm going to cut my hose sections. Alright, I have my hose pieces cut and added, and so now I'm just going to install it onto the stock air cleaner and see what happens. Alright, so I have everything installed. What I might do next, if I like it, I'm going to take this, drill a hole in it so I can fit that over it. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to start it up and see. I mean, obviously I'm worried because you know, I drilled it with a hand drill, and if there was any little metal shavings that got caught in the air filter here, then you know, I'd be pretty bummed if, you know, that did anything to the motor. But I blew it all out with a air compressor, and so let's start it up and see what happens. Let's get it neutral. Alright, I'm in neutral.